Hello, Jess. This will be some video feedback for you on the first half of the term, which is the print ad. And if you have any questions, or if I can help you in any way, don't hesitate to reach out at my number, which I post in my announcements. And in general, you have a great collection of things. Learn the distinction between embedding and linking images. And it's tricky in the Illustrator interface, but they have made some improvements. Well, from now until the end of the term, I bid you strength. Jess, this is the PDF that you made in the discussion board, and it looks great. It looks like your images are high enough resolution. I like the way you've handled everything, really. You might consider, contrast to scale. Perhaps make some of these circular elements, small, and some of them quite large. But I do like the way they're arranged within the it's a total composition. The figure, these text elements. Think about watch your spelling. It's complementary is, I think, misspelled. This is called a ligature, ST ligature. And not sure how you got that, but it's perfectly acceptable. It's rare to see it in a sans serif typeface, the ST ligature like that. And you might want to look that up. It's a typographic detail. It's called a ligature. Other characters are similarly joined. ST, for example, became the, or long S, short S became Z in German. And that's an example of an evolved ligature. The text, I think you could simplify it. I know we're not copywriters, generally speaking, but run it past somebody that you respect for their use of the language, if you can. And consider perhaps a little more random arrangement. I like the Z shape that you've created. You could capitalize on that. This, I think, needs to be finer. It's hard to make Arial, look nice, but that's your challenge. And I like the way you've handled the contact information, although I think it could be a lot smaller. One of the things about designing on the screen and then, looking at it in print is that there's a big leap there, not only in media, but in color, resolution, and many other things. So I think you'll find that if you were to print this out, hint, hint, on your printer at full size, 8.5 by 11, you'll find that the contact information is way big. So it can be smaller. And I'm going to open up your file in Illustrator next. Now, Jess, you'll notice that your file in Illustrator, the images look really pixelated. And that is because they are linked rather than embedded. So they're linked to high-res images elsewhere. I see that you've included them in a folder. Moving forward, it makes it easier for me, at least, if you embed images. And it's an important thing to know. It's in the image, I think, or object, import object dialog box. And just, be sure that you know before leaving this class the difference between embedding and linking. Okay, having said that, see, this, I guess, is one compound image, which is one way to do it, but it doesn't give you much flexibility in terms of moving things around. So what I would recommend, if you can, is get all of these things in Illustrator on their own layer, and keep the borders, or any border that you might use, on its own layer too, so that you can turn them on or off. And the border should be vector. In other words, they should be drawn in Illustrator, not in Photoshop, if you can. It's it's an appropriate use of the two different software to do this, is to keep line art, and pixel art. Not that they don't, intersect. Okay, so I'm going to leave it here. You've got the ingredients. Make sure that you can use them in Illustrator. Don't make composite images in Photoshop if you can avoid it. Assemble them all in Illustrator. And I look forward to seeing your variations.